name is Sydney Olson, and this is my informative speech on true crime. Here are my note cards. This is my audience. We all spend our lives trying to feel safe, yet many of us are fascinated by true crime stories that make us question what safety really means. We go through life feeling almost untouchable until we hear stories about people who believe the same thing. This causes us to face the reality that it can happen to anyone. This realization pulls people more and more into true crime stories, giving us understanding of our own vulnerability and a sense of readiness. True crime doesn't just entertain its audience. It sparks curiosity for the unknown and reveals society's need to understand human behavior. I recently have begun to watch true crime stories, which I found that once I started watching them, an episode, I watched the entire episode. So today I will discuss why true crime can feel relatable. Second, I will talk about how true crime triggers our survival instincts. And lastly, I will discuss how true crime satisfies our desires. Relatability. Since these are real life stories that took place, many of us can imagine what we would do in the same situation. It gives us a shared reality. According to Phillips, the True Crime podcast, he emphasizes and expands on real life experiences, allowing the audience and other survivors to hear these stories and reflect on the world that we live in. Phillips' point explains how true crime stories is a way to connect other people. Emotional connection. These stories are real. Viewers can feel for the family and get a glimpse into what they went through. This realism causes more of an impact compared to fiction ones. Lastly, self-reflection. Listeners can reflect on their own lives and imagine what they would do in the same situation. Now that we have learned about how society feels they can relate to true crime, I will now talk about how it triggers our survival instincts. The more true crime stories watched, viewers can be aware and know what to watch out for in order to stay safe. Learning through observation. According to Perch Todd Stephan, people who watch true crime and observe dangerous situations to mentally prepare themselves in case something happens. This appeals to our natural need to stay safe and learn from others. It also gives us heightened awareness. Hearing these stories makes people more aware of their surroundings. Simple things like locking the door when you get into the car and just knowing who's around you can help keep you safe. There's also empowerment through knowledge. We are able to develop more confidence in ourselves with the more stories we watch. And it also gives us a feeling of control. Now that we have discussed how true crime triggers our survival instincts, I will now discuss how it satisfies our desire to solve puzzles. Beginning with mental engagement. According to ProQuest article, true crime attracts the audience by engaging them to analyze the information given and understanding the case before it ends. Viewers can make predictions and have fun with others while they're watching these stories. There's also an emotional reward. Figuring out what happens before it ends is super satisfying and rewarding. The audience stays hooked the entire time when they are given little clues that build on top of each other. Lastly, there is a social connection. With social media, you're able to discuss cases with others and share theories and opinions. This develops a sense of community that many people enjoy. So now, today I discussed how true crime can make us, or true crime feels relatable. Second, I talked about how it gives us it triggers our survival instincts. And lastly, I talked about how it satisfies our desire to solve puzzles. True crime stories interest so many people because it sparks curiosity for the unknown and reveals society's need to understand human behavior. In conclusion, true crime isn't just about suspense. It's about connection between the unknown and understanding. True crime reminds us that these stories can happen anytime and anywhere. These stories we hear about can easily become our own. The fascination behind true crime comes from mysteries behind each story. Our curiosity is from how we learn. Our curiosity is how we can learn from what we are afraid.